All right, in this video, I'm gonna go dark in two spectrums. Whether you're a man or woman, I need you to own your darkness. And this is going to sound very freaking controversial from a Christian. I know. But before you get judgmental, I'm gonna need you to listen up to this one because I honestly believe that the reason why a lot of you are struggling is because you haven't embraced yourself fully. Now, to deep dive into this, again, my name is MacDowell. I'm a consultant, author, speaker, and again, the mission is quite simple. I help men stop and women stop arguments, lead calmly again, rebuild respect and desire in their relationships. Now, in regards to what we're doing today, the topic itself is a mix between understanding our darkest thoughts and instead of running away from them or disowning them, learning how to observe them and almost utilize them to our advantage. Okay, so a bit about my story. So initially, I started off. So reason why you should watch this first. Let me make it valuable to you. I want you by the end of this video to be able to understand the power in learning how to observe without reacting. Okay, but you must be able to look in order for you to do that. And it leads me to my bit, right? So growing up, I genuinely thought that, you know what, any dark thoughts, any dark negative, anything that would not be approved, I should hide and keep in a closet, right? And that started at a young age, and this closet became bigger and bigger and bigger. And every single time I was ashamed of something, or I was embarrassed of something, or I felt guilty of something, again, right there in the closet. Now, the problem with the closet is that it it withheld all the power and strength I needed. Because as I was denying parts of myself, I was almost like cutting myself in half. And the best example is Piccolo, right? So if you guys have watched Dragon Ball Z, and I really hope you have if you're following this channel, because the OGs know we were Dragon Ball Z diehard, and we still are. I'm just actually trying to make a legacy happen here. Not to say that I couldn't have done it for Dragon Ball Z, and highly respect to anyone that does it, but I just thought, okay, this is how I'm doing it. But cut long story short, if you look at Piccolo, right, and it's not Dende, it's the other guy. Anyways, you get the gist. They split in half, and you pretty much done the same thing at the age of, let's say, 7 or 8 years old, and ever since you grew apart and became two different entities. Now the other entity is responsible for your self-sabotage. Okay, they are alive and kicking, and every single time you want to do something productive with your life and you now go under pressure, it switches. It's like it takes over and it does the exact opposite of what it wants to do. And if you haven't watched Dende and Piccolo, I want you to think of Fight Club, right? The more you try to run away from it, the more power it gains. That's the problem. Your shadow gains more power as you try to fight against it. And the reason why it gains more power as you try to fight against it is because you're acknowledging it when you fight it. And what I need you to do is, I want you to embody the actor, director, and audience role, right, of your life. First of all, life is not that serious. Good news. And the reason why I say that is because after watching a lot of my family members die, friends die, and people die, I'm still standing, I'm still alive, and honestly speaking, it's gonna happen to every one of us. So the truth of the matter is, the more serious you take, the more miserable you become. So you might as well be lighthearted about it and treat it as a game that eventually will end anyway. So with that in mind, I want you to embody the actor, director, and audience. Okay, this is why even things like caring about what people think, like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting so many views. Like, oh, I was speaking to a client of mine. She was like, oh, I'm not getting so many views. Like, shut up. Who cares? There were 60 people that liked your stuff. What about those guys? What, they don't exist? It's not good enough? How self-absorbed have we become? Oh yeah, it's only 60 people. Do you know how much it takes to gather 60 people to pay attention to what you're talking about? Hello? No, not just pay attention, actually like it. Let's not even talk about the people that viewed it. About 5. Come on, right? And look at this. I'm not even judging. I'm just saying, because I was in the same shoes. I was just like, come on, it doesn't matter. Anyways, when we look at the shadow and acknowledging it, what we're failing to realize is that the more strength it gathers is based on the amount of focus we're giving it. And this concept actually came from Chase Hughes, and he called it fear. And fear is basically a mechanism that basically breaks down your pattern. Your pattern is the behavior your brain has registered to repeat every single time a specific circumstance occurs, right? So a pattern is a habit, in other words. I'm trying to be intellectual about it, but it's like brushing your teeth every morning, or showering every morning or night, or going to the gym. All those things are behavioral patterns that after a while become, again, habits. It's quite straightforward. So cut long story short, the process of that pattern being formed is number one, focus, right? So what you focus on. Then number two, you have E, which stands for emotion. The emotional intensity you attach to the focus creates a very intense memory or moment in that specific outcome, right? So whether you're angry, happy, whatever the case is. So when you feel shame, that's an intense emotion. Why? Because it's, number one, you're focused on it, and number two, it creates an intense connection with the emotion that has been generated. And then you have A, which stands for agitation. Agitation stands for you now, again, creating a physical and emotional connection with that moment, which is, for instance, you feel something in your chest or your heart rate goes up. Now that's your body now creating okay, cool, so when this happened, this is what happened. So an example is, now whenever you self-sabotage, the reason why your brain records it, which is leads us to R, which is repetition, is because every single time this thing happens, this is what happens to your body. And because it happened and it's been turned into a habit, habits become familiar. And what your body now says to you is that what you're wired to now say and protect is based on what you believe you've been telling yourself this whole time. So now you've created a pattern that works to your disadvantage based on the emotional intensity and focus you've given it. That's a very big chunk of information to digest, but what I'm basically getting at is the fact that the more you feed this monster, the bigger it gets. And I've explained to you why your very behaviors, every single time you try to run away from it, enforce it. So what should we do now? So I understood that this is something that's going to carry on happening, right? What you want to do is this. You want to understand how to ensure that you integrate it. And in order for you to integrate it, you need to stop judging yourself. And that is, I know, it's very difficult, especially as Christians. There's two things you need to start doing. Stop judging yourself and stop being fucking self-forgiving. What that means is you're so delusional. You're delusional anyway when you're judging yourself and not forgiving yourself. Why? Because God even says it. He doesn't even hold it against you. What kills you is how you feel about it yourself. Right? And again, you can look at different scriptures or different religions saying the same thing. But my point is this: once you become so delusional about self-forgiving yourself, and you stop judging yourself, you stop looking at those things as things that you should be ashamed about, and you start to look at them as, oh, so you're part of me. And now that you see it as part of you, you can now start to challenge it. And because you start to challenge it, you get to not just acknowledge it, but you get to relax the emotional intensity you gave it in order for the habit to recreate itself. So by you acknowledging it, you're disempowering it. The key here is you don't, and the focus, right, is not, okay, shadow, I want you out. The focus is, I want to be in full control of myself, or I want to be stable, or I want to know what inner stability looks like. How can you help me get there? So your focus has now diverted. And now, when you're looking at the fear pattern you created with the shadow, it's there, it's active, it's dangerous, but you've made it aware. So now you're looking at the monster for what it truly is, which is you. You are that monster. And that is the tough pill a lot of us don't want to swallow. A lot of us are having conflict, especially when you think you're this good person. A human being is capable of evil things. I've made a video about this where I explain the kindness and stuff like that. But human being is capable of evil things. And you being blind to that is what's making you judge other people. You're basically blindsiding yourself to your capability of evil. But once you are able to look at yourself fully, you start to realize that you actually have the choice to do that too. You just choose not to do it. But the key here is, how do I gain the inner stability to stop ignoring that? Because once you realize you're capable of that, you create measures that stop you from doing that, because you can actually see yourself doing it, worst case scenario. And because people can sense that this is a choice you have, they also start to fall in line too. Why? Because it doesn't take an idiot to know that this person is capable of hurting people. And this is the key between understanding how to be a disciplined monster and neglecting yourself and trying to be a good citizen. They lied to you when they told you that as long as you're just a good citizen, well behaved, don't get yourself in trouble, everything will be fine. Because that's how the self-sabotage monster thrives the most. He's like, yeah, of course, they're right. When it's integrated like Fight Club and Tyler, it either it exists according to your rules or you can dead it. So you make a pact with it, right? Another perfect example is Asta and the devil inside of him. Right, this is gonna sound very nuts to people that don't watch anime, but I need you to sit with me. It's actually just how the series is. Black Clover, highly recommend you should watch it. And again, I did say you shouldn't judge, but my point is this: once you integrate who you truly are, and you let go of shame, because the truth of the matter is that power and shame cannot coexist. You're gonna be able to let go of shame, and because you're gonna let go of shame, you're gonna be able to embody power. So these are the two things. I want you to be self-forgiving. Accept that those were your thoughts. Oh, wow, I did think that. Accept that those thoughts don't own you too. Right? Because I said you're the actor, which is the person that is experiencing those emotions. You're the director, the person that's observing those emotions. And you're the audience, the person that's watching the show. So you can pretty much embody these three parts individually, as long as you treat this as a game and you stop impersonating feelings and thoughts that you can just observe. Which leads us to the part 3. Part 3 is understanding how to observe your thoughts without reacting. Perfect example is, again, we've already mentioned it, but I want you to imagine you're watching a movie. So the work I take my clients through that pay me a lot of money for it, right? Imagine you're watching a movie and you're seated in the audience and you're watching the show. What do you want the hero to do? Right? You're probably saying, oh yeah, do that. Go take that route, or do this, or do that. That is what you should be doing every morning. Envision yourself in the movie as the star of the show. And as the audience, analyze the action I should take. And then as the director, you can take those actions and you can direct the actor into saying, this is what I want you to do today. And then as the actor, you take those actions. Right? But it all starts from observation and alignment towards the final goal you want to achieve. It doesn't even have to be a goal. It just needs to be a habit. If your habits are strong enough, you'll be able to get to wherever it is you want to go. Because if the tires don't run in a vehicle, it doesn't matter how ambitious the vehicle is, the car's not moving. The habits is what make the vehicle move. And as long as the vehicle is moving, it's going to go somewhere. The direction yourself to get in the right place. So the reason why I say you should become your own monster and accept your dark desires is because when you accept them, you stop empowering them. Become a disciplined monster that's able to control who he truly is within. Let go of shame, self-forgive yourself, but learn how to conduct yourself in a way that aligns with what you want to achieve. And I promise you, you're going to be unstoppable. If you need help in doing that, drop me a DM, or let's do like a one-to-one consultation where I take you through that, because I can guarantee you, if you the moment you stop doing that, you're gonna start to observe yourself self-sabotage, and you're gonna say, I'm not supposed to do that. You're gonna stop saying things like, I don't know what came over me. Yeah, what came over you is the fact that you're not in control of yourself. Your shadow is. So you want to let go of your shadow controlling it, you gotta accept it. You gotta accept it, create a partnership, and allow yourself to observe it play out. Okay? Really hope this video has helped you and added value to you. And listen, YouTube said that you should watch this video next. And I think YouTube's onto something.